Wow, 2025 has really come to an end, huh? Fucking took it long enough, Jesus Christ. At least the soundtrack was good. Tastes like feet. Welcome to the Metal Robot Reviews channel. I'm your host, Tom McKay, and from newcomers making themselves known to legends and titans conquering their respective genres, it was truly a standout year for metal. Honestly, putting this list together was way harder than expected. A lot of personal favorites had to get cut. Some albums, they just stared at me from my music library like sad, abandoned puppies. But sacrifices had to be made, and there were quite a few Old Yeller moments during the process. Nevertheless, here are the top 10 best metal albums of 2025. Quick disclaimer before we get started, if your favorite albums aren't on my list, then I either A, haven't heard it, after all it's impossible to have heard every album that came out this year, B, I did hear it, but I kinda had to cut it because I like the current list much better, or C, well, okay, I don't have a worst list this year, but if I did, then you know for sure. Also worth noting, no AI bands allowed. Ever. I'm surprised we have to actually put this in here, but no, you know who you are, and I hope your computer catches syphilis.
How dare you! I will show you. I fucking spelling mistakes. God damn it!
But before I get to the juicy top 10, I want to bring back a segment I like to call The People vs. MRR, where I dump an album that the populace believe should be on the list, but I disagree for whatever reason that might be. And boy, do I have a doozy for you here. Go ahead, keep typing your bullshit. I don't care. Your hatred fuels my engagement, so keep going, keep going. See, how many of these are AI? Look, I don't care if you think Sleep Token's a good band or not, or whether they're metal or not. The focus here is whether or not they belong on my best of 2025 list.
Okay, but they're not a metal band, so...
Oh my god, will you shut the hell up? Shut up! I didn't ask you for your opinion about whether Sleep Token's a metal band or not. I never asked for your opinion about that.
You're talking about Shit Token on a metal show, so clearly...
No one cares! No one asked you! It doesn't matter! It's my show! I'll put him on this spot if I fucking want to, you pasty-faced 4chan gremlin! Look, you're allowed to have your opinion on the matter, that's totally fine, but if no one's asking you, why do you assume that people want to know? They don't! It's just pathetic! So, shut up, go away, and don't speak unless spoken to, alright?
Alright, fine, whatever, you fucking poser. God, metalheads are such pussies nowadays. Personally, I blame Tumblr for that shit. God fucking damn it, TV nerd bullshit.
As I was saying, while much of the metal masses are mixed on this, the Sleep Token faithful and defenders believe Even in Arcadia is one of the best albums they've released since 2023's Take Me Back to Eden. I mean, I agree it's better than that album, but doesn't necessarily make it best of the year material, if you ask me. Honestly, I just don't get this band. I've listened to Take Me Back to Eden and Even in Arcadia back to front, all 22 tracks from both, and can maybe only pinpoint either 4 or 5 I actually want to come back to. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that they're terrible musicians, no matter how much the metal elites are begging me to do so, but I just can't get into this style. The heavier moments are solid, and the band can work their way around a hook better than even most metalcore bands, but with Sleep Token, there just isn't enough to truly drag me into what they've got going on. It's entirely possible that I'm just the weird one, and it's a more intellectual experience that my brain just can't get a grasp on, but I don't care. Maybe one day it'll all make sense for me and I'll turn into my book talk girlfriend with that one vessel picture, but for now, I'm just gonna leave the music to the people who actually enjoy it. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's check out the top 10, starting with... God Damn, Greek! Blackened Death Metal of the highest order indeed. Children of Eve was my first real exposure to Nightfall, and wow, what an introduction. The album pulls no punches from I Hate onward, with great atmosphere and punishing riffs and vocals. The drumming is doing a fantastic job as well, with help from the bass keeping everything together. Nightfall have a way with punishing your speakers from the first note and never letting up. And with some great solo work to boot, Children of Eve is an album I've grown to love over the span of the years since it came out back in May. It's just as punishing as I'm making it out to be. If you haven't embraced the Children of Eve yet, I highly recommend it. The little fuckers are filthy, melodic, extreme, and so goddamn amazing. It's a babysitter's dream playhouse. Oh yeah, you can thank Colin for this one. He has not stopped talking about how amazing Wrath and Ruin is since bringing it up on our sister podcast, which is the Influence Metal podcast, by the way. New episodes every Tuesday and Friday. A link in the description. Hint, hint, click, click. And after checking it out for myself, holy hell was he right. I'm not even much of a thrash metal guy, but Warbringer truly brought their A game with this album. The moment those guitars squeal in the opening to The Sword and the Cross as the riff starts to establish itself as a blistering force to be reckoned with, I knew I was in for a treat. I can't exactly pinpoint what makes the German thrashers stand out from many of the thrash duds I've had to listen to over the years, but whatever their secret sauce is, it's working. It's not just the guitar riffs that are ripping either, the solos are just as ferocious. Add in tight drum work and a voice that's sure to give Halls a real challenge, and I'm slowly being converted to more thrash metal, which I'm realizing now may have actually been Colin's master plan all along, but I just can't prove it yet. Seeing Blackbriar continue to embrace their gothic symphonic metal sound has been a real treat. From keeping aligned with a more gothic rock sound early on, they truly embraced the heavier side of their musical personalities on A Dark Euphony back in 2023, but they perfected it on 1,000 Little Deaths. It's Blackbriar at their most elegant and crushing. They found a formula that works for them. Songs like Bluebeard's Chamber, The Fossilized Widow, and The Last Sigh of Bliss are dark and punishing when they want to be, while the dark siren-like vibes of Floriography and The Catastrophe That Is Us add a beautiful contrast that has been unmatched this year. Funnily enough, Epica's A Spiral was almost in this spot for a time, but Blackbriar absolutely dethroned the Symphonic Titans by having way more great bangers to work with, in my opinion. There truly are no skips on 1,000 Little Deaths, and it makes me so excited to hear what Blackbriar has in store for the next time. Okay, I'm a little less surprised that Dream Theater is on my best of the year list, but I'm a lot more surprised that Parasomnia is not higher. Though to be fair, if anything, I think it says less about the album and more about the top 6. God damn! Simply put, Parasomnia is a great triumph for Dream Theater, marking the return of longtime drummer Mike Portnoy and a return to pure, unadulterated, heavy progressive metal. I was curious to know, after months of sitting with Parasomnia, if I'd still feel the same way I did when it came out, or if I was just blinded by the excitement of getting Portnoy back behind the kit. Turns out the album still holds up perfectly. It's a great showcase of where the band was decades ago, while still holding on to where their sound has been going recently. No skips necessary on this one, and that includes the interlude of Are We Dreaming? Every song feels important to the dreamy insomniac theme the album offers, and it all comes together beautifully. If you haven't had a chance to spin this one, seriously, don't sleep on it. Which is funny because the album title is a play on insomnia and the album is about sleep. It's a please laugh. Holy shit. Can we give that vocalist a hug? Like a really big bear hug. Can we get a fruit basket as well with hearts and a teddy bear on the card that says sorry for the trauma? Because goddamn. Oh yeah, this album is a showcase of pure, unfiltered emotion. Mostly anger, but you can feel the level of anger, sadness, frustration, resentment, and everything in between in your soul. Whether you listen to the complete edition or the original release, Cursed is such a powerful hardcore album from Paleface Swiss. I'll admit this is the first time I'm hearing the band, so I don't know if this is their usual style or if this was such a huge pivot, but their third studio album just kills it either way. It kind of reminds me of a hybrid of Knocked Loose's gnarly instrumentation and early 2000s Corey Taylor vocals. Think like Iowa era. It's a heavy as fuck album in every sense. Cursed pummels you emotionally, spiritually, and physically from the moment the doors are blasted open on hatred, even to the heart-wrenching ballad of Rivers of Sorrows. God damn, holy shit, motherfucker, that's the review. That's all I got. That's it. No words. Just get in with these guys now before they drop their EP, The Wilted, in January, which I'm keeping my ear to the ground on for this one. God damn, I guarantee you won't be ready if you don't. Okay, another thrash metal album has appeared on my list and in the top 5. Clearly, the robot is losing his marbles. But then again, I've always felt that Testament never truly got the star power they deserved. When it comes to the American thrash metal scene, they tend to be next in line after the big four of American thrash, and that's a real shame. The death metal influence mixed with the classic thrash gives Parabellum real bite. Front to back, you're greeted with decimating guitar work, eviscerating vocals, and some of the tightest drums you'd hear in most thrash metal nowadays. In my original review, I pointed out that I loved how the album started with an influence of Blackened almost, that helped start the album on a strong note for me before eventually falling back into the normal thrash metal shenanigans. And while I remember that being a bit of a downer point originally, I've kind of grown to really enjoy that side more and more as a great place for Parabellum to settle. Now the ferocity is still there, and it never lets up for even a second, and for that, Parabellum cracks the top 5 with a goddamn nuke. Look at that album cover, that's a nuke right there. I've got no complaints, that's for sure, but fuck. Okay, if anybody knows me by now, I'm a sucker for folk, symphonic, and prog metal from other countries, especially when that region's musical identity gets fused into the metal. And Stardust being from Israel, you already know what you're going to be in for if you know anything about the musical styles of that region. And their implementation into a fantastic progressive symphonic metal masterpiece in Souls is on full display. One of the main components of this album I actually can't stop gushing about was one of the most versatile vocalists I've heard in metal in a long time, Noah Grumman. She has it all, from soaring powerful cleans with a lot of bite, gnarly screams and growls that shake the earth, and as if that wasn't enough, a beautifully enchanting operatic soprano that helps the symphony fit with the absolute masterpiece that is Stardust Souls. And at 42 minutes, this album is shockingly digestible for a prog metal album. Basically grindcore by prog standards. Seriously, Stardust, so fucking tasty. Great addition to the prog frog category. I can't wait to hear more from this band. But speaking of prog frog, let's hop on over to the top 3. Oh lord, the Reticent somehow managed to get back to the number 3 spot 5 years later. How the fuck did that happen, guys? Holy shit, totally worth it though. Like I said in my original review, this album does such a fantastic job of understanding and showcasing the various mental illnesses a lot of us deal with nowadays. From anxiety, depression, insomnia, panic attacks, all the way to even suicidal ideation, Please is a strong showcase of all of it without half-assing it. Seriously, it is so easy to take on these particular topics and fuck it up, but the Reticent knows what to do and how to tackle with a level of care and intent that is hard to find nowadays. I still love the song The Scorn, where they straight up take the piss out of people who don't believe depression and suicidal ideation are a real thing. It's such a sarcastic fuck you to those people who really should know better, and I can't get enough of it. Now, this album is a lot more dense and complicated compared to all of the other progressive albums featured on this list, which is why I really couldn't rank Please higher than number 3, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't check it out for yourself. Grab a nice pair of good quality headphones and get enveloped in these stories for yourself. Seriously, so fucking worth it. God damn it, guys, you did it again. Somehow I knew, the moment I heard Tyrannus Aeternum, that this was going to be best of the year material. Burned in Effigy's sophomore release is anything but a slump. Neoclassical death metal is a genre not many can experience, but these guys bring it forward and fucking nail it. It's technical, it's blistering, it's immense, it doesn't shy from taking a flamenco break just cuz, and it's an album you need to check out for yourself. Tyrannus Aeternum supposedly is the start of a concept the band is kind of tinkering with, as they talked about on the Metal Robot podcast, which you should totally check out by the way as well, but it doesn't feel like it's meant to be digested as one whole album to get a complete picture. Whether you digest the whole thing or just bits and pieces, Burned in Effigy's Tyrannus Aeternum is a sign of a band coming into their own and owning their sound. No fucks to give, just pure neoclassical tech death for the masses. Now, as usual for these lists, before we dive into the top spot, we need to showcase the best EP of 2025. Because EPs are cool, they're awesome, and, well, okay, because I really can't stop talking about this one in particular. Roll the stinger! This EP is a cosmic death metal nightmare, and I mean that lovingly. The moment I heard the Alien Realms EP, I knew it was going to be the best of the bunch. Not much else can be said that hasn't already been said. It's a huge death metal ball of fury covered in fleshy tentacles from the depths of space. And it feels like it too. Their blending of symphonic elements into their pummeling death metal intensity is a work of art. Also, the fact that the composition of these songs match the theme of the EP's title and album cover. There aren't many albums out there that can pull that off successfully, but truly, these songs feel like it's the soundtrack to an epic alien horror movie. Add in the replay element in that I just could not stop blasting this EP, and it made me acutely aware of the band's existence from here till the end of time, and it's an EP that I couldn't bring myself to put anywhere but the top spot for EPs. Alien Realms is the best of symphonic death metal that I had heard this year, and a great addition to the Quebec death metal scene. For sure, check it out. No further notes. Goddamn. All right, no more delays. It's time to get to the cream of the crop, the tip of the top, the one who rolled that rock up the fucking hill and triumphed. See, that's a weird way to tease it, I feel, but I feel like there's a reason for that. Why did I tease it like that? Well... All right, maybe I'm a little biased here. After all, the band's leader is Trey Xavier, a YouTuber I've been following for years now. And Age of Legends is an album I've been wondering about for quite some time since hearing Purgatory a few years back. But honestly, after truly sitting down with Age of Legends, it was so worth the wait. This is by far the best In Virtue album I think we could have asked for. From the opening of Ascent Glorious, Sisyphus Awakening, to the chant of Push That Rock, the slow western stomp of Gunslingers of the New American Desert, and even to the epic closer of Tempest Fugue Descent Limitless, Age of Legends is an amazing display of a power metal spirit with progressive ideation and a bit of death metal mixed in. Because fuck it. I gotta tell you, Sisyphus definitely should not have been a king, if any of you know the legend, but In Virtue still made sure the story inspired by his legend takes the crown as the best metal album of 2025. Now, if you want to know what the best video of 2025 is, and I say this with absolutely no bias whatsoever because of honesty and other Cub Scout bullshit. It's gotta be this one, where me and Colin play a metal game that's fun for the whole family. Check it out for yourself and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the mosh pit in the new year. Have a good night.